I am Luciana Hartwin. Welcome to the Temple of Bastet. As always, if you find value here, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. Welcome, dear seekers, where myths are whispered like secrets, and the stories of gods become mirrors for our own souls. Tonight, we turn our gaze towards the shadows, not the menacing kind, but the quiet, protective shade offered by Nephthys, goddess of the unseen, the overlooked, the liminal spaces between life and death. Nephthys is not the loudest figure in Egyptian mythology, nor the one who demands center stage. But in the golden age of the gods, her role was indispensable. Her presence a vital balance to the brilliance of her siblings. Let us walk with her and understand the quiet power she wielded in a time when gods and mortals shared the same soil. The birth of Nephthys. In the beginning, when the goddess Nut, the sky, and Geb, the earth, birthed their children, Nephthys came last. She was the shadow at the edge of twilight, the calm that follows a storm. Where Isis, her elder sister, embodied the magic of life, and Osiris radiated the light of kingship, Nephthys was the soft, steady darkness. But do not mistake her for a figure of sorrow or despair. No, Nephthys was the night sky, glittering with stars. She was the cool embrace of dusk, the promise of renewal that can only come through rest and stillness. From the moment she entered the world, she carried with her the wisdom of endings and the hope that endings always give way to beginnings. The role of Nephthys in the Golden Age. During the Golden Age, when Osiris ruled as king and Isis stood beside him as queen, Nephthys was always there, just slightly apart, watching, guarding. She was the keeper of boundaries, not the flashy walls that divide, but the sacred thresholds that must be crossed with care. She stood at the edges of the fields that Osiris made fertile, ensuring their borders were secure. She whispered guidance to Isis in moments of doubt, her voice a low hum of reassurance. It is said that while Isis's magic could transform the world, Nephthys's power lay in what she left untouched. Hers was the art of preservation, of protection. She was the guardian of what was hidden, the silent keeper of secrets. To the people, she was the patroness of the home's quiet corners, the dark, still places where rest and renewal were found. Nephthys and the river. The Nile, so central to life in Egypt, had a special connection to Nephthys. If Isis was the river's flood, its abundance, its life-giving waters, then Nephthys was the river's stillness, the gentle eddies that carried prayers to the gods. She was the unseen current, steady and strong, guiding the river's course in ways that were not always obvious, but were always vital. People would often pray to Nephthys in the quiet of the evening, when the river grew calm and the stars reflected on its surface. They would offer her small tokens, jewels, herbs, or even whispered words, asking for her protection, her subtle guidance. Nephthys and her marriage to Seth. In the Golden Age, Nephthys was wed to Seth, the powerful and unpredictable god of storms and chaos. Their union was one of contrasts. Where Seth embodied force and disruption, Nephthys brought calm and balance. Their marriage, like many divine pairings, was not without its complexities. Seth's wild nature often stood in stark contrast to Nephthys's quiet strength. Yet she understood him in ways that others could not. She saw beneath the storms and the sandstorms to the purpose Seth carried, a necessary force for transformation and change, even if it was often misunderstood. Though their partnership was not one of great love or passion, it was one of cosmic necessity. Nephthys's role was to temper Seth's chaos, to create harmony where there might otherwise be discord. Together, they were a reminder that even opposites have their place in the grand design of the cosmos. The sisterhood of Isis and Nephthys. While Isis and Osiris shone brightly as the rulers of this golden age, Nephthys formed a quiet but unbreakable bond with her sister. Together, the two were like the sun and the moon, one complementing the other. Isis's magic was radiant, bold, and transformative, while Nephthys's was subtle, steady, and grounding. Isis brought life, while Nephthys guarded it. And in moments when Isis faltered, it was Nephthys who stood firm, offering the quiet strength that can only come from the shadows. Their sisterhood was not without its trials. Nephthys often felt her contributions were overlooked, her role misunderstood. But Isis, wise and kind, always acknowledged her sister's importance. Without you, Isis would say, there would be no balance, no boundary between the chaos of creation and the peace of rest. Nephthys as a protector of the dead. Though this was an era of life and prosperity, death was never far away. It never is, even in a golden age. Nephthys, with her gentle touch, was the protector of those who crossed from this world to the next. She did not fear death. She understood it, embraced it as a necessary part of existence. When a loved one passed, families would call upon Nephthys, asking her to guide the departed through the veil to ensure their safe passage into the afterlife. Her presence and rituals of mourning was a source of comfort, a reminder that even in death there was protection, care, and the promise of renewal. She stood beside her sister Isis during these moments, the two of them working in harmony. Isis calling upon her magic to prepare the soul for its journey, and Nephthys providing the quiet strength to guide it home. The power of quiet strength. Nephthys teaches us that there is a power in the quiet, in the overlooked, in the spaces where others do not tread. She is the shadow that offers cool relief on a scorching day, the whisper of reassurance in the midst of chaos. In the golden age, her influence may not have been as celebrated as that of her siblings, but it was just as essential. For what is light without shadow? What is life without rest? Nephthys reminds us that balance is everything, and that even the smallest, quietest forces can shape the world in profound ways. And so, dear seekers, we leave Nephthys in the golden age, standing at the edges, her presence as steady as the stars in the night sky. She may not demand your attention, but she is always there, protecting, guiding, ensuring that life's boundaries remain intact. Nephthys, in her marriage to Seth, and her role in the Golden Age teaches us to find balance even in life's turbulence. Her presence in his life was a stabilizing force, a testament to her ability to bring harmony to even the most chaotic of realms. In her quiet way, Nephthys teaches us to honor the shadows, not as places of fear, but as spaces of rest, renewal, and sacred mystery. Thank you for joining me in this exploration of Nephthys' story. May her wisdom and quiet strength inspire you, reminding you of the beauty and power in life's still moments. If you found value here, please share, like, comment, and subscribe. I am Luciana Hartwin. Thank you for joining me today here in the Temple of Bastet.